There we go. Okay, good. So as I continued a little bit with the backstory on this, is that it kind of it grew out of a couple other projects. And we happened to acquire this piece of property, which is an excellent in terms of location. And alhamdulillah, it's sort of it has much of what we would like to do already done. And we picked it up. Alhamdulillah, we were able to get it. And so what we're trying to do now is to create a number of projects off of this farm. It's 25 acres. What we're trying to do is create a number of projects, first concentrating on the local Muslim community. When I say local, I actually have people up in Maryland who want to get lambs this Eid, and they're willing to come down and get them, or we can deliver them up there if they're already slaughtered. But there's a big gap here. Literally thousands and thousands of Muslims don't have an option except to buy their meats from the disbelievers, or go there and slaughter them at their farms. That can present a problem for them sometimes. But at the same time, they all have expressed and already calling me to put in orders. They want to order. I don't have livestock right now. We're trying to get that the next 2 weeks. So anyway, I could go on and on. I'm gonna just go through this presentation real quick, and then once we go through the presentation, we will excuse me, I'm just closing some stuff down here. Once we go through this presentation, we will open up for Q&A. And let me see here. Share screen here, and we want to share screen 1. There we go. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, everyone should be able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So Zabiha Farms is a project that, as I said, is meant to address a significant void in Muslims here, or underserved Muslim communities here in northern, central, eastern North Carolina. And so we started this, and in the project here, what we're looking for is to gain support and investment. A number of different ways. We're open to ideas. How can this farm be used to make us money? Meaning us, meaning the farm and you. You have a project, you'd like to execute it, present it. And if it is something that fits into our present model, or that we can adjust and modify and include that, because not all things are exclusive, in terms of they have to only that be done. We can go a number of different directions with this, within the parameters of the use of the farm. That's interesting too, because this land is zoned agricultural unrestricted, which gives us a very wide berth for the things that we can do here on this farm. I want to move on. This farm, when we purchased it, it already had a lot of the things that it probably would have taken us years and a lot of money in order to put in place. They were already here. And that's why I say for this project, 80% of the infrastructure is already in place. The surrounding Muslim community is underserved. It does not have a convenient. They're driving for 45 minutes, an hour and a half to get to where they can go to, and some even greater distances to get to where they can slaughter for the Eid. And even if they have that farm closer to them, say 30 minutes, like we might be 45 minutes, but now they get the opportunity to come and shop with the Muslims at a one-stop operation where we have the animals here, and we have an area that's set up for the processing and of that preparation and processing of that animal, whatever it is, goat, sheep, cow, lamb, what have you. And we'll get to that in just a second. Um, and this is the kind of a launch business. Out of all the projects that we want to do on this property, this one is the most ready to harvest, right? Let's say, right? It's the most ready because, as I mentioned above, 80% of the infrastructure for this is already in place. The zoning and codes allow us to do what we're doing, because it was done here previously. And again, we'll talk about that when I'm showing you the buildings. Um, and so it requires very little investment, relatively little investment for the return that is potentially to be gained and secured by livestock. This is a store that's on the property. The previous owner was, and this what we want to do is turn this into the grocery store. This is the Muslim grad, just like any other halal market that you go, Muslim marketplace that you go into. This is the space for that we want to use for that. And this building is already has split units, so it's heated and air conditioning, has security cameras, as well as it was used as a gun store previously. And so the guy had a lot of security around there. So that's now, secondly, the preparation and processing area. This is a building that was specifically used for processing the meats that the animals that were being slaughtered on the property. And also they did hunting there. So they not only had the regular, goats and sheep and lambs and what have you, they also had deer, because they hunted deer on the backside of the property. It's a pretty excellent hunting ground, because every time I walk the property, I see fresh deer tracks. Let's see here. Let's see. I can't enlarge these pictures, but you can definitely look. I'm hoping you can see them well enough to hear my description. Give me just a second to go back here. So this room here is, I think, I gotta get the square footage. I believe it was about 700, almost 800 square feet. It also has, it's insulated and heated and air conditioned. What we intend, this is where some of the investment will go, because of course they removed all of the appliances and equipment, and in replacing that, and the good thing is it's not a huge amount of money, and it's not a huge amount of equipment. Cutting surfaces, double sink, band, the what is it, the meat bandsaw, and refrigeration units. All totaling less than 7,000. I think it was about 66,000, 6,500, something like that, to get this to be fully equipped. And that also included putting up on the walls some vinyl sanitizable surfaces, a vinyl, a type of vinyl that goes up, and you'll find it in a lot of food handling areas. So that'll be going up, inshallah. And this is the pen. The pen for where we keep the animals, or where we will be keeping the animals, previously used for that purpose, is electrified fence. It is fenced in, and it has 100 by 120 square feet. I mentioned here 7,000 square foot. I thought it was around 7,000, but when I actually did the takeoff, it was more like 10,000 square feet of pen space that we have available for the animals. There's a lot more to the property, but these are the things that are immediately directly related to the project itself. A place to keep and feed the animals, and also we can graze them on the backside of the property. We will be grazing them, and we will be feeding them grain, alfalfa, and different types of hay that they give to the animals. So the other thing is, I think, let's see, place to keep the animals, a place to prepare and process the animals. I did not get to show you the back of that building. I do have some other videos and things like that. I don't know if I shared those with Khalida or not, but they are available. Videos that I took myself personally as I walked the property, as well as a place to sell the animals, an office and store, which is there. So it's a great project. Um, so now just a general statement about Zabihah Farms. Again, Zabihah Farms is here to serve the Muslim community. And what we want to do is to become not just a place where they can do business, purchase their product. We even going to have some eggs here. We're trying to get some hens for free range eggs, but that's also we're trying to get that off because it's pretty quick to get started. And now eggs are the rage, as the prices have gone up in some cases over 400%. But anyway, that's what we're here for. Here to benefit the farm as well as the community, even in the financial sense. So we want to offer always have programs that are available for Muslims to do their investment in livestock or in other projects that we have, such as the indoor farming project. So I'm going to open up the floor now for Q&A. If anyone had any questions or any ideas, I'm all ears, as they say. You can only unmute yourself when you are. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sharif, alhamdulillah. Welcome, welcome, alhamdulillah. Come on, give us some of that wisdom from down there. This brother, I don't know how many of you know our brother Sharif here, the Muslim homesteader. Introduce yourself briefly and then share something with us and some advice to your brother here.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Like I came in a little late. I was just finishing up my breakfast. So I missed the beginning part. But excuse me, for those who don't know me, my name is Sharif, also known as the Muslim Homesteader. I have a YouTube channel, but recently, for the past, I guess, 2 months, I haven't posted anything because I've been focusing on myself and family because it takes a lot to get out and put, videos out there every week. But basically, we're located in the northeast corner of New Mexico. We're a purposely established community. We have over 50 members in our community, oldest being 73, the youngest being a few months. And basically we bought our land and we came together. So we are a community, but the land isn't owned by the community. It's owned by individuals. So people bought their plots of land and we just work together on different projects. So for example, today, between Laura and Oscar time, we're doing masjid renovations. So we'll be working on that. Sundays, the sisters have a class. We got the actual community, not our community, but the county community building. And they have a cooking class and Islamic studies class, which is turning into a farmer's market.
Let me see. Let me kill this call here coming in. Excuse me, brothers. Okay. Yes, subhanAllah, alhamdulillah. Thanks for sharing that, Ak. I appreciate that because we definitely, one of the models we started out with for the OG, I mentioned it, was the Sharia land and farm. We wanted to buy like 50, maybe 100 acres and establish a township, a community that way. But now a Sharif's project is more, I think, suitable for us. I call it the Medina model. I started off calling it the Amish model because everybody knows the Amish. The very few, even Muslims, understand how the Medina model worked. That's something I guess we have to really introduce the believers to because that is the model we really want to follow. And so that entails everyone, even though we're cooperatively working together, building our own economy and doing things and productively to build a community together, we all have our own interests, our own land. And I might be doing what I do. I might have the animals, the sheep, the goats, might have some milking some goats and making some goat's milk cheese or whatever. I don't know. Stuff that you guys do down there. You're making your own bacon, man. You're doing all kinds of stuff. So for the community, that's what we're talking about now. someone, if you're in our group, and I'm sure you saw it, Sharif, our brother Altef, put in a property down here. It's in Halifax County. It's not far from me. I think 20, 30 minutes. What was it? It wasn't that far from where we are here. Might not even been that, but anyway, $92,000. It was 2.25 acres, with a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. You know, a kind of a starter. Hey, you can do a lot with that, right? Should they,
Yes, definitely.
you don't need 25 acres. You can buy a small 1 acre, acre, and do some work and have something there suitable for that size property. You can contribute to not only your family's economy, but to the community, us as a group, as we work together and collaborate, even with our brothers in New Mexico, we can build that. And I know that's what you have always been about. And I'm sorry to extend this meeting off into the larger dream, but that's what we're trying to do. And Sharif has been working on this. I think you've been down there you're pushing up on a decade down there. How long?
Yeah, I've been here permanently for 7 years. I left Saudi in 2015, and I've been here full time ever since. But prior to that, I was working in Saudi, and I would just go back and forth during the summer,
Right.
to do little projects like getting up the fencing, building small outbuildings, and things like that.
Right. So anyway, if
Assalamu
anyone
alaikum.
has any questions, go right ahead, Khalida.
I really, pardon me, this introduction is really going to be real quick because I know I'm going to have to go to the door in about 3 minutes, Aki. So, and then receive brother Sharif. I think he said he just got finished eating, and I'm about to get food for the family. So I want to say this really quick. This is a blessing, and thank you for inviting me to this right here, because I myself and my family, my team, we're actually in the midst of signing the paperwork right now for 77 acres of land in Virginia. And, like-minded spirits and bodies and souls on one accord to build a self-sustaining community. And, one of my questions is, and I've been speaking with Brother Yasin, to duplicate this the project he's got in the 77 acres that we inshallah will be obtaining. And then Brother Sharif, just you being over there and saying what you just said is a big inspiration, because that's exactly what we're intending to do. And so, brother, I would love if you can share your information with me so me and you can go back and forth as we try ourselves, inshallah, to build this self-sustaining community as well.
I'm inshallah, no problem, bro. Just anytime, I'm always available. I'll give you my number, email, whatever you need.
Alhamdulillah, because this is very inspiring. I have a couple of our members on here right now, and as young as 23 years old, that's ready to really do what it takes to be done. And keep in mind, I'm from the bricks of New York City, and so I don't know nothing about farming.
Trust, brother, you don't need to know. I learned, it's going to sound really crazy, everything from books and YouTube videos. And alhamdulillah, Allah has put me in a position to tell the people here who come from established ranching families how to do stuff. They actually come to me for advice. And I'm talking about they've been doing for generations. So YouTube in the library is a great resource.
Thank you, beloved. Thank you. I'm going to slip away for the next 2 minutes, and inshallah, I'll be back. But Brother Yasin, I got Brother Leonard on here. I don't know if he's available to say anything. I got Brother Ijaz, the 23-year-old, and then I have my sister too as well, Sister Katura. We're all involved in the same project. So I got to slip away real quick, and then I'll be right back. And thank you so very much.
All right. Thank you for joining. Alhamdulillah. Brother, I don't know, like you said, Brother Leonard or whoever else, if you have any questions or, like I said, comments, please don't hesitate.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, this is Brother Hamza down here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Can you hear me?
Nah, man, hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Right. Greetings to everyone. Well, this is my first conference, call, joining with the Zoom. And alhamdulillah, I had an opportunity to come down to the farm and visit. It was a great place, great experience. And I definitely like the direction that everything is taking. And it, from what I see, the momentum is great. You have somebody that's in place with the farm, which is yourself, Brother Yasin, being the Emir, spearheading things, which is great. So keep it in line with the Sunnah and how things are done. We have Ijma, which is being set up, where so you have consensus. You have maybe, inshallah, further down the line, we may have appointments of certain things. And the reason why I'm saying this is because with everybody that's involved, I don't know if we all know each other's skill set. So one of the things, according to the Sunnah, when people would be appointed positions or they would take on certain roles within the community, it would take place either by appointment or ijma. And the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he knew the strengths of the people in that community. And one thing that I find to be very important that's missed sometimes when we come together as a unit, we never find out the strengths of the people that are in the community. So sometimes people may come in and they may have a desire to do something, but yet it may not be working according to their strength. So as I come into the meeting, I just want to present what it is that I'm able to do in terms of helping out. So me personally, I have a moving business, so I have trucks. So with those trucks, I'm able to get involved in the aspect of transport and physical labor in terms of manpower, which will be needed if we intend on transporting any the animals from one location to another. And I just want to ask the other people that are in the conference, since this is a drive toward the farm that we have here in Enfield, even though they may be at a distance, what strengths are they bringing to the table and how could they assist in this so that way we can be clear in terms of who has what resource and we can know. For example, you know, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he knew the strengths of Abu Bakr, he knew the strengths of Umar ibn al-Khattab. But right now, I think it's good to know what are some of the things that we're bringing to the table in order to help the advance our cause.
Now, that's true. You know, that's always the case, whether it's any organization like the masjid, you set out there are 300 or 400 brothers out there, and you don't know this, you know, we don't have a directory of their talents and skills so that we can help keep our economy strengthened. I need a plumber. I know I got the brothers so-and-so, but if I don't
Right.
know, I got to call Roto-Rooter or somebody, right? And give them my dollars, right? So there's always, and you're right, that's so important to know the strengths of the people within the community so that we can work with together, you know, and really build. And I think you and I, we talked about your what you have, your strengths and how we could use it. Like you said, transporting animals. And there was someone who talked about a farm that we could get animals from. And I said, I'm going to run that by you. But anyway, the other thing is, one of the things that I think is critical for the farm at this point, and that's one of the things I want to concentrate on, is this project, right? And funding this project. The deal is, I don't have a single animal, no livestock on the property. I don't even have chickens right now. We're trying to resolve that issue. We'd like to get at least 10 lambs on the property, 10 lambs to have one to begin to be able to fulfill some of these orders that we have coming in, right? So someone calls me and say, I need two. I need to be able to say, come on through. Can I come? That's what the brother asked me. Can I come through tomorrow? That was last Friday. I didn't I can't tell him yes, but if I got, you know, 5 or 10 back there, I can say, sure, come on through. And, you know, we come through and do business. Now we start that process. And that's what, because Ramadan is coming up, the brothers told me we go through a lot of lambs and even cows. We'll do a cow during Ramadan, right? And things like that. They just slaughtered. They say we slaughtered 10 cows a year. That's the brother, just that small group, the group I saw out there, they came from Raleigh to go to this guy Jim's farm, right? They said we slaughtered 10 cows a year here. We want to do this business with you. I don't have a cow. Right now I don't have a chicken. Key is we need to get livestock on the property so we can actually say, come on through. We got you. We have a place here to take care of business, just like Jim. We got it better than Jim does. Jim didn't have the thing. I got, I got some mechanical things. I don't know what that thing is called. Maybe you know, Sharif, where you put the you string the animal up. You
Gramble.
a gramble. See there, he knows the name of it. Now I know I got to write that down, right? A gramble. Okay, so I got one of those that can put two of them. So and these guys, who's here. I mean, I don't know. I just got here, but I know that all of the communities I visited in the different cities have been heavily populated by Yemenis. So there's clearly a large Yemeni population in all these different cities, Greenville, Rocky Mount, and so forth, right? And those guys have been coming at me strong saying, we want to do business. It was in Roanoke Rapids. The guy, that's where the next day I got a call saying I need to get a lamb, right? He said, because he thought I had him on the property already on the farm. So that's what I'm trying to get past that. That is going to put us on the map, inshallah, in terms of the community. As during Ramadan, they're able to buy from us. And then when the Eid comes, we've got 50, 75, back here that they can come. And I'd like to have 100 because from what I understand, it wouldn't be, in fact, Jim said, you got to have at least 50 because he does a lot. He said, everybody comes to me. The Arabs, the Africans, they like a lot of goats. He said, the Africans like goats. He said, the Africans come to me. The Arabs come to me, the Chinese, the Latinos. He was talking about how good his business is. He said, I got a lot of business here. And he's been there since 2010. He said, I didn't have an animal here. Now he's got almost 200 head of, livestock, goats, sheep, rams, all kinds of stuff out there. Cows, got a number of cows and that sort of thing. Chickens, not counting the chickens because with the close to 200, but that's four-legged livestock out there. So anyway, that's what we're trying to do because that's where we're closest to being able to start introducing the community to the farm and what we have. Two, put us on the map for future when people have, and they say, we always, Muslims, we're always having babies. So these akikas and then the walimas and then different things. My family, outside of the different sacrificial periods, we buy lambs. We buy about 3 a year, probably about 3, 4 a year, just on normal, just regular for eating, So it's something they prefer. Not only that, our community needs to secure their food, and I don't know, Sharif, what do you think about that? In terms of what's happening right now, we need to secure a very important thing. We got the land, but we need to secure food.
Okay, well, let me go back to when you're talking about getting animals, especially for the Eid. So right now we're in January. It's about to be February. So the animals that didn't breed back. So that means, okay, so the farmer went out there, he put the bull on the cow or the ram on the sheep, and that female didn't get pregnant. So that's going to be a loss for him. So what he'll do around this time of the year, between now and March, is he'll sell those animals off cheaply. He has to get rid of them, especially cows, because the gestation period of a cow is just like a human. So that's 9 months. So that means he's been feeding it all winter, and he has nothing from it.
Nothing to
So
get. That's right.
you can get those animals at a cheaper cost. At the same time, it's calving and lambing season, which means the babies are going to be, produced. You're going to have some farmers who are going to say, I don't like the way this animal looks. There's a thing, they score the animal. So by how the back is, for cows, if there's like a slight bow in the cow's back, it's not good. They don't want to pass those genetics on. So they want a straight back cow and things like this. So they get rid of those animals. I mean, to the point I got a cow for $300 and it was ready to butcher. I mean, it was huge.
Yeah.
Just for the sole fact that it didn't meet the standard
right
of, I mean, there was nothing Islamically prohibited from being slaughtered. It was just that person's standards for their animals. So that's something you want to consider. If you can contact any local farmers to see if they have any animals that didn't breed back or animals that are older. So, for example, sheep, after 7 or 9 years, they're going to get rid of them.
The production goes down. Huh?
Well, it becomes dangerous. You know, they're going to actually have stillbirths and things like this.
Right.
So you have mutton now. Some people will say, I don't like the taste because it's too strong. Me personally, I like it. It doesn't seem strong to me. The dairy industry. So if there's a dairy farm near, all males are basically trash for them. They get rid of them quickly because they're into producing milk.
They don't want
so the males are not needed.
Right.
So we got a bunch of avenues to consider for meat production. And now with securing, our meat for the future, you want to look at the time of the year when you buy the animal. You don't want to buy things in the middle of, at the end of fall, because that means you just have to feed it all winter long. And you're not, benefiting from it. If you can, you want to buy early spring, right when the spring summer grasses come in. So then it can be on fresh pasture. And then you're not, spending a lot on it. And then slaughter by late fall, early winter.
Right.
And then there's different breeds of animal that are better producers. So for example, I'm switching my operation over to Dorper sheep. Dorper sheep are the fastest growing meat breed there is. In 100 days, that lamb can weigh anywhere between 90 and like 100 pounds. And those are the ones, in case you don't know, it's a Dorper. They have the black heads and the white bodies. And it's a cross between two. So it's a Dorset and a Persian sheep that were crossed together. It's a hair sheep, so there's no wool.
Okay, good.
For example, with regards to cows, Jersey cows have a high butterfat content, so the milk is sweeter. The cows are smaller. It's easier for young children to handle them. My son was handling our cow. I mean, let me see, he would have been about 4 or 5 years old. And the cow was like about 900 pounds. So, and they're really, docile. They're really relaxed. So they're easier to work with compared to like Holsteins, the black and white cows.
Right.
Which are basically double the size.
Right.
And their milk is watery. That's the milk that you get in the store most of the time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shut it up for a little while because let somebody else say something.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone had any questions on what Sharif says about the project, or any ideas? Please step up.
Sure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brother Yassin, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I'm really interested in some of the details. Are you explicitly stating what you need in terms of meeting your short-term goals? You said currently you don't have any animals on the farm.
Right.
Interested in you projecting a timeline, projected timeline as to when you would like to have animals there, what it would take to get animals there. What options are open to people aiding you in that effort?
Right.
Um, so those are the questions I have right now.
Yeah, and all good questions because they go to the meat of the matter, and that is say just give you an example, for instance. And I wish I had taken a couple of pictures of this and gotten it out. Mm, Give me a second here. But what I went to this farm and I mentioned Jim, this Irish guy. I went to his farm, and so I'm there on his farm and I look at a couple of sheep. We're talking about some of, like I said, he has a couple hundred, almost 200 head of livestock out there. And so I think I do have this one here. I might be able to share this a little bit here. I want to show you just one of his pens while I'm talking here. And also there were a couple of sheep in there. They were twins and they were the age of 7 months, young lambs, I mean, well, they weren't weaned. I mean, they were weaned. Well, by the way, Sharif, what age does the calf or the lamb wean from its mother fully?
Okay, so for calves, it's going to be 6 months, and for sheep, it's going to be earlier than that. It depends on the system you have in place.
Mhm.
Okay, so it depends on the system that you have in place. If you leave them together 100% of the time, the cow will not wean at 6 months. I actually had
Mm.
a bull that would knock his mother down to still nurse, and he was like a year and a couple months. I mean, and he was huge. So
Right.
you have to separate them. And
Yes.
after they're
Okay.
separated for a while, then they'll be okay. But normally most people wean their calves at by 6 months.
Okay.
Um, for a couple of reasons too. You want to develop their gut health. They need to eat grass. And if they're just on milk all the time, the gut bacteria doesn't develop properly. And sheep, about 3, 4 months.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Good. Look, so basically, can you guys see my screen here? There's a video playing there.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So this is one of the pins. He has some out on the. Now, what I wanted you to do is, if you look back at these, can you see my mouse? Those two sheep right there. So he
Yes, sir.
told me, he said those are 7 months old. Because at this point, we're talking price, we're talking, stuff like that. So I said, okay, 7 months old. How much for those? And he said about 240. I can give you those 240 a piece, right? So I said, okay. Now what we do know is that in this area, during the Eid, the uh they're selling for between $500 and $600. That's what even up north in Maryland, they were paying the same thing in Maryland, man. It was $500 and $600, and they were small too. They were really, this is large compared to what, man, what some people I saw got for 450, and because they got a bargain, right? Yeah, right. My wife called them chickens, but anyway, um, so what I'm trying to do, so what my thing is, the farm and the investor, for instance, can split it. For instance, if I want 10 of these, if he had 10 to give up, right? And I went there and I said, okay, give me 10 of those, right? Uh, that's going to cost $2,400, right? $2,400. Now we could figure in, hey, Sherry, what do you feed yours?
So
And
I'm
the cost.
100%
Yeah, do a
grass.
thing on the cost and what you do feed them.
Okay, so you're actually in a better situation than I am because I'm in a high plains grassland. We have low precipitation.
Okay.
You're in a more, you know, wet environment, so you're going to have a lot more grass than I do. Um, Normally, one cow can be sustained on 1 acre of grass. Okay, This is called an agricultural unit, which means 1,000 pounds of animal. So 6, 7 goats or sheep equal 1 cow. Okay. And I like to keep my animals on grass because that's what they naturally eat.
Right. Exactly.
When you switch them over to something else, it messes them up. However, it's a good idea to give them some grain. So for example, you have a bad year, you don't have enough grass. If your animals are only used to eating grass, they'll get sick if you switch them over to grain. So having a small percentage of grain, and they'll love it. It's like a treat for them.
Right.
So it's hard to calculate cost, and cost is by area. So I would really need to know, like, how much do farmers in your particular area sell a bale of hay for? I get big bales. So the bales that I get are like 1,200 pounds.
Okay. Oh yeah. How much do those cost you down there?
Now it's going to depend on what type of grass you have.
Grass. Right. Right.
So they have what's called cow hay. Cow hay is inferior quality, but it's okay for cows. It could have some mold spores in the hay, but this won't affect the cow. However, this will affect sheep and horses.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going to have all of your animals together eating the same hay, then you're going to need to get a better quality hay. So you're going to need to make sure you have some like oats and alfalfa mixed together.
Alfalfa. Right. Right.
Oats and alfalfa mixed together. The more alfalfa, the higher milk production in cows.
Right.
But the more alfalfa makes the sheep and goats bloat. So you have to balance it out. So that's why if you get a mix of it, it should be okay.
Okay. All right.
And a bale that's 1,200 pounds of mixed alfalfa and oats, I just paid $180 per bale.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Got you. Got you. I'm gonna have to check on the price of the big bales. I had seen, because I went to farm Tractor Supply and I saw the small, bales. I don't know how much they weigh, but I saw the smaller bales. They were selling for like different ones for like between $7 and $9. That's what they were going for.
Okay, so those bales, then they have 2-string bales. You'll see 2 strings on them, then they have 3-string bales.
Okay.
And this is one way you can tell quickly, like on the weights. So a 2-string bale is going to be lighter, and that's going to usually be anywhere between like 45 to say 65 pounds. A 3-string bale is going to be about 70. It could be up to like 90 pounds.
Okay. All right.
So what you need to do then is to actually start doing math.
Yes.
Because you might think, oh, I'm going to get these smaller bales and it's cheaper.
Right.
But no, actually the bigger bale might be, or they might end up being the same price.
Right. Right. Right.
And then you have to decide also how much time you want to spend feeding your animals.
Yes.
I use big bales because I can take it, I can drop it in the field, and I don't have to worry about them every single day coming out with a certain amount.
Right.
Every single day.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So back to your question, Abdul Hakim, Jazakallah khair. And thanks, Sharif, for putting that in there, because that's critical information that we're going to have to do some research on. Just like I'll be going to the auction. There's an auction here in a town called Aden. It's about 45 minutes or so away from me. I'm going to go up to that auction, and I'm going to take copious notes on how they sell. Because I've never been to a livestock auction. I've been to where they're held, but I never went to an actual auction, right? So I don't know how they do that, whether they bunch them in groups by age or by what. I don't know. And so I'm going to find out and what they're selling for. So I'm going to actually see sales completed, and I'll be able to jot that data down as well and kind of do a comparison of the market, buying from Jim at the price that he's charging, or should I just go to the auction? And as our brother Hamza was talking about, we had already talked about this. He's got those moving vans. We can throw some tarp down up on the floor and up on the sides, and maybe I guess something in there for them to be comfortable on, like hay or whatever, and put them in there and go get them, and go to the auction and pick them up. Well, we'll see. We're going to try to find out. So I'm trying to find the most practical and economical way to come to the end to what we're trying to achieve, and that is to get animals on the farm and share that benefit 50-50 with the investor. Although we are the caretaker, and I call that the caretaker method, right? We're buying it with our investors' money. So that 10, 15, whatever, 5 sheep are his, and we caretake them, meaning we are going to, and you tell me whether this makes sense or not, Cherie, because you've been in this stuff. I don't. I'm the city guy who's been in business, and I'm thinking like in the ways that I do, right? So we calculate the cost of feed and all that, how much we put into each animal. Like you were saying, you don't want to buy during a certain time because you got to feed the darn thing all winter. And the more you feed it, the more you got into it, the less you're going to get. And you might even lose money on the animal and be forced to piece it out and cut it up and sell it in pieces. If excuse me, and sell it in pieces. But anyway, and I don't know. But that's what we're trying to do. So if we end up buying it for, let's say, 240, let's say 240, let's take Jim's price, and we sell it at 500. That's kind of what they're selling, between 5 and 6, right? Let's say we sell it for 500, then we have, what's that, $260 in benefit minus the cost that it took to feed that animal over those 60 days or whatever it was in our care. So in the end, when the numbers come out, let's say it's $200, that when we sold that animal, $200 in benefit came. 100 of that can go to the investor who put up the cash, and 100 goes to the farm. So the farm makes a little bit, but what the with this, the big thing that the farm wants is recognition. We want the people to know you can come here and we have the animals and you can get them here and process. Everything is here. Because my idea is I want to pour any profits that the farm makes into getting that building equipped with the band saws, with the cutting tables, with the double sink, with the runoff and the hot water on demand, to put all that in and get that set up so we have a operation that, as it grows in popularity and people are coming, we become even more capable of handling the business. We have things set up where we're not like those brothers were doing at Jim's farm. They were out there with knives and saws and cutting that cow up. But we have all electrified and got a nice, got the band saws and whatever we need, refrigeration, everything is there. So that's Abdul Hakim. I hope that's I can't get into specificity right now because I have some data that I must collect, right?
Yes, sure.
But at any rate, our idea is that we're going to share the profit, the benefit of each animal 50-50, farm 50%, the investor who put up the 2,500 to 3,000 or whatever they put up and got those animals gets 50%,
Yes,
and
sir.
and that's what we're looking at, And the same go same. I was trying to think of how I could do the chickens. I don't know if that'll work with the egg laying hens. Now, Jim, you know what Jim told me? He buys chickens up here in Greenville from a farmer. He gets the chickens at 18 weeks, right? And so they already starting to lay, you know, because they're going to lay, the hens are going to start laying what, between 16 and 20 weeks. And he tells me, he says, when I get those chickens, they either laying that week or the following week after I get them. So he gets them and he's selling those. That's big down here. Selling even up in Maryland. I was told they're selling free range eggs at I forget what it was. It was $8 a dozen, eight and $9 a dozen. You know, because regular eggs in the store going for almost $7 a dozen now. I bought a dozen and a half at Lidl. At Lidl for a dozen and a half for six. I don't know if you know what Lidl. They're kind of a discount kind. They have good. We were buying eggs there 6 months ago for 99 cents a dozen, $1.49 for the 18 pack. Yes, when I bought the other day, it was $6.89, almost $7 for the same pack that we were buying for $1.49. So
Okay. Inshallah, I'll give you an idea. I'm not sure if I told you before about it. So what I do is I go to, in my area, there's Yoder Farm. It's an Amish guy who moved from Pennsylvania. It's crazy. When I first met him, we were talking because, you know, I'm like from Pennsylvania. And he was like, we started talking. Then he told me his sister's in Effort. And I said, yeah, I know that area. So we got along really well. But he produces for Organic Valley Farms. So if you can find somebody who produces for a major, you know, chain or brand, every year they have to get rid of their chickens. Okay. So because the production level goes down and the eggs don't become standardized, they become too big for the carton. So I get my chickens from him for $1 each. They're laying. So I'll pick up 100 chickens, and by the time from his place to when I get home, I'm serious, I can have 80 eggs. Maybe 30 of them are broken because I'm driving back and they get smacked around in the cage and everything. But you get them for $1 each because he has to get rid of them. They sell them at $1 each because they still make money. Because they used to sell them to a dog food processing company, but they'd have to pay for a truck to come pick them up, a driver, and all this stuff, and it wasn't cost effective for Purina to pick them up anymore. So he started selling them for $1, and if people don't buy them, at the end of that cycle, he just slaughters them and throws them on a pile and lets them decompose.
Wow.
So I'm sure you can find somebody in your area. In the beginning, you don't have to have the best producing chicken. You just want your eggs. So you want to get a younger chicken later once you get established, so you can have that longevity. But in the beginning, you don't need that.
Yeah, especially if you're able to get them at a good discounted price and they can produce. That's that's excellent. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that Abdul Hakim, did that answer your question? Abdul Halim, okay. Is that
Yes,
what
sir.
I thought it was Abdul Hakim? My eyes, I just put my glasses on, I think. But did that answer your question or do you want to
Yes, sir.
follow up?
You
Okay.
addressed it. I'm wanting a question I would like to address to you, our brother Sharif, who seems to have
Yes,
a
sir.
bit of experience. It would apply to this area, East Coast. But have you done any research as to how, if you would come under any type of regulatory governmental oversight entry actions initially establishing your projected goals?
So
And if
for
such, what is the process? What are the stages?
okay, so for example, if you're going to slaughter chickens, okay, each state will have their regulations on the number of chickens that you can slaughter without FDA interference. And it varies by state. It's usually somewhere like 10,000 a year is the cutoff. So you just do 9,000. You just make sure that you're under it. You don't want to do, 9,999, because then they're going to come out and start wondering
Try to
what's going
find that
on.
one.
Yeah. So you just keep it under that.
Right.
Now, if you wanted to go over that number, Yassine, you would have your own chicken processing, and your son would have his own chicken processing on the same property.
Right.
So now you're doing 18,000 without having any problems.
Right.
With regards to animals, you have what's called custom kill. Yassine, you will not sell meat to anybody. You will sell a whole animal to that individual. They will slaughter it, and then you can cut it up, because now you sold them an animal. It's their animal.
Right.
Then you have no
Right.
FDA interference whatsoever.
Right. Right. And that's why I was kind of talking about, we're the caretaker. That's my caretaker model, where the investor actually buys the animals. We are the caretakers. Those are his animals. And as you said, and which is popular around here, those Yemenis they want to slaughter their own animals. They want to take and prep them and do all of that. That's what they want to do. And a lot of the places aren't allowing them to do that. As it was described to me by a few of them, they have some difficulty. And they want to mechanically slaughter, because I think they were going up to a slaughterhouse, those particular brothers, in a part, I think it was called Canton or Caton. I don't know if North Carolina, but they were buying from this, and those were the brothers, I forget, I think those were the brothers in Rocky Mount. But anyway, not Rocky Mount, but Roanoke Rapids that told me that. But or was it Greenville? But Greenville. Those are brothers in Greenville that told me that. But those brothers were excited about what we're doing, and we've run into that repeatedly. So again, thanks. And I want to thank Sharif for joining us with his expertise. And I was happy to see you reply and that you were going to join us, because I always need you to come in, because he has many years of experience in this. And only thing I have is many years of dreaming about it. I wanted to do this kind of thing,
Alhamdulillah, man, that's all you need.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, brother, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to ask brother Sharif one thing. In terms, for example, myself and brother Abd Halim, we're in the same area, brother Yasin as well. In terms of helping with the farm and having myself, I can't really speak for brother Abd Halim, very little knowledge of farming whatsoever. What would you recommend to someone like myself in terms of wanting to help brother Yasin, whereas though you may have started off initially and realized that, hey, I had good intentions, but maybe that may not have been the best route to do it, so that we're not wasting time and maybe even getting frustrated in the process? Because I know you have to be patient with the process,
Right.
but what advice could you give in terms of us helping to aid him that you think should be in terms of prioritizing the most important things for us first?
Let me see. Well, you have to look at, inshallah, the market. Who you're catering to, the Muslims. I wouldn't just leave it to the Muslims. I would just, even the non-Muslims, because you have non-Muslims who want organic, free range, grass-fed, products.
Yeah.
So it can be halal, but remember that larger market is, still there. And then you want to go, just make circles, half an hour away, an hour away, an hour and a half away, and stick to a certain distance. Don't go outside of that, because then it becomes too much of a headache. It's not cost effective.
Right.
The brother is going to be, driving, so it's like there might be a good deal on this particular animal, but now you got to look at gas prices, of going there. People loading animals. So Brother Hamza, with regards to you, learn as much as you possibly can for what you want to focus on. Because everybody can't do everything, except, yeah, seeing that's what your job will end up being, because you know, you're starting it. So like me, I had to study everything with regards to animals, natural building, many government structures, you know, all of these things, because, you know, we established a community. So that's going to be your thing. But the other people, let them, like the brother had said before, work to their strong suit.
Mhm.
Right. And if you see something that you're interested in, I mean, if Brother Abdul Halim has, you know, something that you're interested in, then, you know, study with him, learn as much as you possibly can. Don't take too much on yourself. With regards to my family, what I did is each of one of my kids, I gave them a book to read to specialize in an animal. So one of my kids, she specialized in sheep. The other one specialized in goats. We all took the class on cows. We had rabbits, we got ducks. So that person is a specialist in that animal, and then they share the knowledge with the rest of the family. So then we all have the knowledge of all those animals. It saves time. And then when there is a problem, so my one daughter had specialized in sheep. She saw a problem with the goats, that with the condition that sheep usually get, and she was able to diagnose that and brought that animal back to health using natural remedies. Where when I was selling, one of the local guys was like, no, that animal's going to die. I don't want it. And alhamdulillah, she turned it, you know, around. So split up, you know, your duties as much as possible, but try to learn as much as possible. I actually, Yasin, I'll give you, it's kind of like my curriculum of what to watch and what books to read.
Okay. Good.
There's everything is, you know, alhamdulillah, family friendly, you know, it's good for the kids to watch these things. There's like some historians who lived the life of Victorian farmers for a calendar year. So you're going to see things that were done, you know, a while ago, but are still applied today. And it'll just make you more in tune with your animals.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
One question. I'm wondering if this session is being videotaped, if there, because it in of itself could actually serve for presentation purposes. It could be posted on the site, and for those people that are interested and that might have missed this session, they could easily go back and pull it up and review it and educate themselves as to this venture. And it would not require a repetitive allocation of the same amount of time on your part, Yasin.
Alhamdulillah. Now, because we won't be able to get Sharif in every time we have a meeting.
That's
so
right.
we got him now. So the thing is, yes, it is being recorded, to answer your question. And we do have a YouTube channel. I will be sharing the link out on the I don't know how you guys got the message, but I will be sharing it out to those same platforms that I shared the link for the meeting. And when you go to it, please subscribe and like so that we can grow the channel, because we're going to use this, inshallah, as sort of a chronology or a sort of like to show how the farm is developing and evolving into the different projects and things like that. So we want to kind of use it in that way if we can, to build the information out there.
Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, walaikum salam to Mikhail.
Yes,
Go ahead.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm listening very, very intuitively to everything, and I like Brother Sharif. I mean, I'm in Arizona, so I like to know where his community is in New Mexico. But look, you showed some videos. I'm just curious. There's a company that sends out, it's called Box Halal. and they send out chicken, beef cuts, bacon and stuff like that.
Okay.
And they send it out across the country. But I'm kind of like curious and interested. And the other brother also mentioned that thing about the FDA. You got that store that's on your site. That did you look in at, outside the brothers coming in and doing the slaughter for the Ramadan and stuff like that? Have you any ideas on actually, and like Brother Shariq was saying, not just thinking about the Muslim, but actually having halal store there with meats that that'll always be ongoing.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, the store, I showed it earlier. That's what that building will start out as. And because we're zoned the way we are, understand that I can expand that building. And I have the land to do so. But yeah, we do have a store that we're going to start out with, and that's part of this project to get that store up, so we can also start doing our own sausages, linked and ground sausages, our own cuts of beef and lamb and goat and what have you, packaging it, branding it halal, Zabihah Farms, and putting that there. We want to start growing the brand as well, building a brand. And so we want to do that. And so, yeah, that's part of the plan. I think you mentioned something else too. Oh, I wanted to say, back in the 70s, I used to buy from a company called Omaha Beef. Omaha something. It was Omaha, I think it was Omaha Beef, and they were shipping. I used to get deliveries of steaks, from them. Omaha Steaks is what it was called. I used to get, and they're still doing it. I looked them up a few months ago to see they've been doing mailing the products, meat for since the late 70s, if not before, because I think I was buying from them around 78. And so one of the things we'd like to do is along the lines, again, kind of operate where we can operate. We want to have like a membership or a subscriber. There's a group of subscriber farms out there where you subscribe to. So the subscribership gives the farm a kind of a flow of money. You got so many subscribers and they're paying X number of dollars every month. They've picked out orders, or they can go in and modify their order. I want to get 2 chickens and I want to get cut of lamb or whatever every whatever, right? However they want, weekly, monthly, and we can ship those out to them like that. So I'd like to grow it into that. That's one of the evolutions of this project that we'd like to see happen, so that we can begin shipping not just small orders, but maybe even larger orders to other customers.
Okay. Well, another input. Brother, I just recently finished my master's in advertising. So that was another input. So you say, like the brother was saying, that the strength of your believers. Right, but I've been there with you anyway.
Right.
Through the ups and downs. So
I should go look. I should go get those shoes. The shoes you designed to label. Where are they?
I'm still on the site, brother. So look. Don't fall asleep on me, man. For all your branding and all your advertising stuff, man. So I'm just want to put that so you don't fall asleep. Yeah. I'm still on that site, man. I still trying to work out my sneakers.
Right. Exactly. Yes, so I still got a couple pair of them here. They're back there.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum salam to the cat.
Yes, my question is like a part 2, Brother McKeel. One thing that we have, Brother Sharif, is that on this land that we're about to, inshallah, secure in the next few days, next few weeks, we intend on having a store, like Brother McKeel said, a halal store, and for meats products and things of that nature, as well as the slaughtering of the animals. My question is, and my limited knowledge, is that I thought that that one that slaughters the animals have to have some type of authority, or has to be have some type of I mean, for it to be halal and Zabiha, and I understand you said that sometimes brothers come on and they slaughter their own cows. It's like, would that does that take away from it being halal or Zabiha? Is that am I making any sense with this question?
Yeah, brother, it's clear from what I understand. No, there, as long as the person is Muslim, sane, you know, is using a sharp knife, is getting the jugular vein and another one like the esophagus, draining out the blood. There's no issues with the animal. It's not deformed or anything like this. Then you have no problem whatsoever. My son slaughtered, and he's just a kid, and he slaughtered when he was 5. So there's nothing about authority, like a position of leadership or something in the community. Right. Yeah, you can slaughter yourself, and anybody else can.
So as long as the animal is healthy and correct, and it's a Muslim, and they do it the proper way, it's permissible.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there was some. There was a community in Philadelphia where people misunderstood things. So the leader of this community, and they were off anyway. He told the people that he was the only one allowed to slaughter because he knew how to do it. The next generation of people became vegetarians. I mean, it got that extreme because they took the statement of this individual. He's the only one that knows how to do it.
Wow.
So it's nothing like that.
Yes.
Men, women, children, anybody can slaughter.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Only with the conditions that you mentioned earlier. That's it. Anyone can. He took his shahada 2 minutes ago, and he can slaughter, and it's Zabiha, it's halal. And the other thing is to clear it up, and I don't know if brother add anything, but a lot of people, they don't understand halal doesn't mean that it's Zabiha. Halal can be that which is slaughtered by other than Muslims. It can be halal as long as certain conditions, again, are met. In the case of Zabiha, that has to be done by a Muslim and done in the fashion that the brother explained. That becomes Zabiha, which is halal. It is the epitome of halal because it is this halal that is slaughtered by the way that Allah and His Messenger had commanded the Muslims to practice this, and His name is mentioned. Subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned over when the process is done.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, so if we don't have any more questions, we've been going for a minute, and I appreciate you, brothers, showing up. All of you, every single one of you, I appreciate this, and it's important. Like I said, this will be uploaded as to the channel, and depending on how long it is, we might have to edit it down a little bit, but I'll make sure I keep the salient points in here because there's so many important questions and many things that were stated by our brother Sharif that I definitely want to make sure get communicated out to the larger community, inshallah. And again, I also want to make sure that the larger community understands that we are trying to make this success without the community involvement on an operation or project like this is not success. The community, to the degree that they're involved and that they are part of it, that's success. Additionally, if we have the ability to translate some benefit financially to the community, not just in the savings, not just in the fact that they know that they're spending their money with a Muslim business and that, we're doing business halal and we're building, but actually being able to invest where they want to, say, look, I want the caretaker package that you got. I want to get 1, 5, 10, or 50 lambs, and I want to, make that, and it's a quick turnaround. Certain times of the year, like now, within 100 days, boom, it's a done deal. You're going to sell those animals during the Eid. It's going to be done within a couple of days. We can run through 75 or 100 right here, because the brother's telling me that's what's happening up at Jim's farm. This guy, that almost 100 people gather there during the Eid to slaughter. And that's just one farm in this area. And so we want to get in there and hopefully grow this business in service to the Muslim community in a way that they can come to a place that they can feel comfortable. We have a 2-acre pond back here. We want to develop that, particularly for periods of times where we want to do summer projects, or like camps for the youth, retreats for the adults, different things we can do there. The Eid, we got plenty of land here. We can have all types of activities back there, and all of that can be going on right here. We want to make it kind of the go-to place for, for the Muslims in the area. They know they can come and take advantage of this asset, this resource here, in right here. By the way, the pond is stocked. We call it Lake Zabiha. By the way, you call it a lake, but it's 2 acres. It's big enough for me to call a lake. So anyway, I can name it what I want, right? But
Exactly.
it's stocked with catfish, big mouth bass, and crappie. And we plan on doing some things, putting some canoes out there, kayaks, and letting, because I enjoy that. Some of the kids enjoy that. And, so adults and youth will enjoy canoeing and kayaking and fishing and things like that on the lake. So that's kind of what we want to build it into. We're open to all ideas, anything that comes to us that can benefit the farm and the community at the same time. We want to hear it. Um, so that's kind of message I want to make sure that everyone knows. All of the information, contact information, emails, and all of that will be contained in the description of the video that's going to be passed out, inshallah, shared out on our YouTube channel. And again, when you go there, please subscribe and like the video. Brother, I saw a brother join on, Muhammad Waliuddin. I don't know what happened to him. He seemed that he might have lost his connection. Who
Let me
just
put my
joined?
stuff here.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead. You got the mic. All right. Abdullah, you got the mic. Go ahead. I can't hear him now. I don't know if he's talking. I wanted to. I'm glad he had a chance to join. I would love for him. By the way, check the chat, everyone. Our brother Sharif is putting his information in there. Also, early I did put the farms information, which is admin@zabihafarms.com.
Brother Sharif, do you have your social media? Can we get that as well, sir?
You can it's real easy. The Muslim Homesteader, that's my
Yes,
YouTube
sir.
channel.
Oh, alhamdulillah. Shukran.
And my Instagram is also Muslim Homesteader.
Yes, sir.
My product line is the
Muslim
Muslim Homesteader.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Thank you. Shukran.
But by the way, I have also access to a resource here for putting logos. And this is at you, Mikael. Definitely we need to talk, because we're trying to brand the farm, get it out there. But we have the ability to put those logos on caps and mugs and shirts, like our brother has. Whatever we get right here on the property, we'll be able to make those and more. I don't know. It hasn't been described to me all that this machine can do, and but I do know we can put it on, as I mentioned, mugs and different types of containers and products, and on shirts and on caps and that sort of thing. So
That's
we're gonna.
that's my forte, brother. So if
All
you
right.
reach out for anybody else, I'm gonna be mad at you, bro.
Nah, man, you know you are the one. You the man. I'm gonna be coming at you.
Hey, you gotta make me earn my master's, man, in
Right,
advertising. So hey, you
right,
better do it.
right.
I gotta pay the school back.
No, no, that's right. That's right. And as we move forward there, we're gonna need that, advertising, like you said, branding it, getting the business out there is gonna be
That's
extremely
right.
important. I'm trying to our brother Abdullah, let me see. I'm here. The phone is a if you got audio, Abdullah, go ahead and chime in. I did see your message there. Let me see what it says. Let me pull it up because it bounced away on me. Okay, there we go. Adjusting audio. Okay. Oh, you got okay. So, my brother Abdullah, I'd love also one of our brothers. I'd love to have give him a chance to say a few words because he has expertise. Again, going back to what our brother was saying, in that's so important. I've been saying that for over 20, almost over 30 years now. That whenever you look out into that, then I always use Juma as an example. The masjid, some of these masjids, you have anywhere between a couple hundred to a few thousand people, like at Dar Hijra out in Virginia. There, I think about 1,500 people or more attend Juma there. Um, and so what happens is you look at all you have people out there who are graphic artists, who are commercial artists, who are security, they know, who are IT people working in the IT industry, who are uh, architects, designers, anything. I mean, you name it. And sometimes you need a plumber. Sometimes you need someone to change your door. I want to do that business with the Muslims. I always, and just like our brothers here in this area, have every one of them I met. It was seconds before they were letting me know that they wanted to do business with me once they
Don't
found out
forget
about the
radio.
farm.
Don't forget international radio platform, my brother.
Oh yeah, don't forget that. And that's our brother Khalid's thing. I think you've been doing that for about what, 20 plus years?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so there it is. I mean, bringing all the resources together to bear together. That's, that old saying about the fingers, as opposed to the fists, in terms of concentrating that, being able to aggregate that power, that resource, or those resources and those talents to to um to support one another. And that's one of the things I admire about what some communities, and I like to refer back, I guess, to the Amish, because right now we don't have any examples similar, that they have an economy. If everything shut down tomorrow, they the only thing they probably would, in fact, they might even have a rush at their, because they have these markets everywhere. The Amish market, right? Wherever there are Amish, there's an Amish market. That's their economy. They bringing that outside money into the community, while at the same time they have their own economy within. It's just, and so therefore they're a little extreme in some areas, not using electricity and stuff. But we don't have that problem. We're going to use technology, and I think we'll be able to exercise into to if we could come together and communicate and to collaborate on that level. It can be tremendous. And the community, you want schools, we can have them. We have our own schools. We have our own training programs for our adults, which is one of the things I did for a while. I ran my own IT training program, and I have, upwards a few dozen, about 3 dozen students out there. At least 2 dozen are actively working in the industry and making good money, because I took a skill that I had and that it didn't cost me anything to share, and got it out there, and taught students and helped them get employed as well. So because I understood the market, so I took knowledge that I had of the industry, and knowledge that I had of the niche within the market, and I trained a group of people and got them in there. And I always say, whenever if you're in IT or you're around any IT environment and you see so many people from India there, that's not a coincidence. India started working on this thing almost 30 years ago to put their students, certain students through that track. And then out of that grew all of these little spots that pop up where they're doing it for themselves, even right here in the country. I learned that in 2006. And that's where I got the idea. I said, if that's how they did it, we need to do that. And so I started doing it, alhamdulillah, and did what benefit I could. And it's still something, my heart is there. I want to continue to do that because there are other engineers, other people out there, not just engineers. But for instance, our brother, the Cobb House building, you went and took the course and certified as, what is it, Cobb House construction, right? He can teach
Right.
that. And he said, what I like about it, when he told me, he said, the guy who had the course, you paid him for the course, and then you built the building. It's his Cobb House, right? It's his
Yeah,
building.
you got to pay to learn. So
Right,
what I did
right.
is what I try to do all the time is I get my whole family involved. So my wife, my kids, my father-in-law, we all did the course together. So alhamdulillah, you know, we're Muslim, so we're not going to be all mixing together. So I have females that are qualified just as I am
Yes,
to work on these projects.
Yes, very good.
And
Very
I'm
good.
really glad about your project because your success is my success because we have to change our attitude.
That's right.
That when one Muslim becomes successful, we all become successful because we got to stop separating. And speak about the Amish. Do you know who the biggest producers of camel milk in the United States are?
The Amish. Don't tell you
The
that.
Amish.
Ain't that something?
The Amish are selling camel milk $60 a gallon, but they don't sell it in gallon jugs.
Right.
I mean, they have a whole proper company, and they're selling it in pints.
Right. I've seen it. I didn't know
when you
the
add
Amish
it up, it's $60 a gallon because camels are considered a nuisance animal in Australia. So they're shipping them from Australia to the United States. You can buy camels right in Texas. So Mikhail, if you want some camels, we can just drive through New Mexico and take your camels back to Arizona. But we need to change our way of thinking, and this is the first step. So I really encourage, I mean, everybody that's here is obviously interested. So share it with other people so we have a stronger force, because it doesn't make sense that the Muslims are going to non-Muslims, especially during the Eid time, and paying this inflated amount of money for animals. Because I mean, when you told me the price, $500 at Eid time, my goodness, it's ridiculous.
Yes, that's right. Brother Abdullah, you got Sheikh, you got your mic back. Go ahead and you have the mic. Go ahead. Please open up and
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm just checking
it out, brother. I've been trying to catch up with you. Been trying to catch up with you since you got my number. But alhamdulillah, man, I just got in a meeting, so and I'm kind of out and about. But yeah, I'm just checking it out. And you said you were near, you're probably a couple hours away from me. The property.
Right.
In North Carolina. I didn't check the location, but it sounds good. I like to come and check it out. Is that where you living now?
Yes, that's where I'm living now. That's right.
Okay.
And so we're 15 minutes from Raleigh. We're 5 minutes off of 95. Exit if you're coming from south, exit 150. If you're coming from the north, exit 154. And 2 turns later, you turn in my driveway. Literally, with 3 miles off of 95. Yeah. So
okay, yeah. I know. I'm about to try to get me some chickens going on because these egg prices are killing me.
That's right.
That's a big operation to do on a farm, but small operation probably be beneficial at about this time. But anyway, I'll talk with you, inshallah.
Inshallah, we definitely have to talk. I got a few things I want to run past you, inshallah.
All right, inshallah.
Right,
all right, assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, alhamdulillah. All right, brothers. If there are no more questions or comments, we're gonna, because I gotta edit this down and make it fit into a YouTube video. A lot of good information was communicated here, and I'm hoping that we can get it out there. And again, take advantage of some of the things that were discussed as well, and start moving toward collaborate. Oh yeah, by the way, please, if everyone here, I put my the email address for the farm in the comments. Please copy that address and send an email, um, if you don't mind. I want to be able to communicate, all of your information with you guys, and we can go back and forth and build. I like to, as the brother was saying, start building that database of who's who and what they do and that kind of thing, and where they are, and so that we can begin to reach out and support one another in our various businesses. Our brother Hamza has a moving, what you got, a couple of 26 footers, I think you said, Hamza? You're muted.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you
Wa
hear me?
alaikum salam to them guys.
Right. I have a moving business, so I have the trucks. So, but they are enclosed, and I did speak to someone about the transport of the animals. It's actually Brother Rashad down here in Wilson, North Carolina, and he said that when he goes to pick up his animals, what he would do with his pickup truck would take and put those animals inside of a large dog crate and transport them that way. So I know things Brother Sharif mentioned about shifting eggs and things of that nature. So if there was something that may be needed to stabilize the animals so they don't move around in the truck and things of that nature, I'm going to look into that aspect and see about if we're doing short runs as far as picking up the animals. But
Right.
anything in terms of long distance with a certain amount of animals, I'll have to look into it, because then we'll be getting into transporting livestock and things of that nature. And the
Right.
licensing for
Right.
that is
Right.
not real difficult to get. But if it's on a lower scale, I don't
Right.
know if animals may need, ventilation when they're inside, if,
Right.
they're pulled
Right.
over. Well, I have to, as Brother Sharif was saying, I have to go back to the drawing table and re-educate myself.
Now I was looking at on Jim's farm. He has what are clearly, because he showed me, actually he had some rams in one of them. He had about 5 rams that he said was good for breeding. If you get the mama sheep, as he called them, then you get you one of these good rams. And he was talking about which ones were going to be good for breeding. And he had them in one of these livestock transports. It's not one of those big ones like you see them moving horses in. It's smaller, and it's ventilated, because it's not completely enclosed. It has a roof, but it has gaps in
Yeah.
there where you can actually probably even see the animals if you were driving by it or walk by it. But
Yeah, because I know there are some regulations. I don't think so in terms of maybe moving 1 or 2, that's okay.
mhm.
But in terms of a larger volume, because I know when I do moving and I move clients down to Florida, they do have one
Yeah,
stop.
stock
Like
trailer, right?
you can bypass some of them, but they have this one that's designed specifically for agriculture. And
Right,
I
right,
don't want any
right.
trouble with DOT, so I make sure like you have to
Right.
stop with that one.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, alhamdulillah, our brother was saying they call stock trailers, and they run about 1,500 for a used one. So and it's worth it. If you got a vehicle with a tow on it, you just go ahead and load. And the one he showed me, he had about 8 Rams in there, and you could probably, if you were just transporting them from one place to another, you could probably put a few more in there and transport them. So it was a pretty nice vehicle. And if you can pick them up, I think for a farm, then that's a must have then, right? Right. Sharif,
Yes.
you gotta have that, because otherwise you're gonna be relying on someone else to move your livestock around. You can't have that, right? So that's in the budgets. There we go again. See, that's another item. That's one of those line items that's gotta be in that budget for this project. You gotta have one, you know. And so great stuff, man. Thank you. I want to thank everyone for attending, man, and all the contribution that our brother gave. I don't think the meeting would have been the same without him. Appreciate you being here. also Sharif taking the time out to be with us. Again, if everyone would copy that email address and just send an email there, so that also I can begin hopefully to start building a database, a spreadsheet, to start following up on the recommendation of our brother there and act on it. You know, it's kind of a deliverable, and at some point we'll make it where it's accessible so people can, you know, we can begin to publish it or put it out so people know who's who. We have to know each other, and we have to, you know, we're going to try to do that throughout. Everyone who comes, we try to create that list off of them, and it will include not just the name and phone number and email, but we also want to know what you do. That, I think, you know, we explain to everybody, hey, what do you do? And I often, that's one of my first questions when I meet a brother, you know, because I want to know, you know, and you know, if we have anything that we can talk about, or he can teach me, you know, and or I can teach him, vice versa. But we have to be change our mindset, as our brother Sharif said, and start getting into that. And I think it'll be contagious, because the benefit of doing that will be very apparent as we move forward. The benefit, and people will flock and want to be part of that. You know, success attracts. And failure distracts, you know. I guess that's right. But anyway, brothers, we're gonna go ahead and cut it loose. And I want to thank everyone again. I want to say subhanakallah wa bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq in this matter, and for each and every one of us in our personal affairs as well, that Allah ta'ala gives us success and blesses us and gives us and shares his mercy with us and gives us Jannatul Firdaus. I mean.
Amen.
طيب جزاك الله خير يا اخوان.
Barakallah.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.